I don't care how good of a painter you are. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just a beginner, at some point during the painting process, you're going to have to deal with a run. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Those of you who have been around for a while know I like to jump right into my videos, but I just want to address something briefly. This channel is not turning into an auto body and paint channel, though that is my background and I will be doing some of those projects along the way. As a matter of fact, I will be putting out a video soon on how to make a portable paint booth in your own garage. This channel is dedicated to off-roading, overland, and camping, and how to modify your vehicles to do those. I will continue to put out the same great content dedicated to those areas. Now, let's get on with how to deal with a run in your paint. So I have a run right here, and that's in the clear coat. If it was a base coat, I would have taken care of that before the clear coat, but I'm going to try to get some different angles so you can see what we're working with here. You can see the runs here, and I'm going to show you how to take care of this. So this is what I'm working with today. I have my sanding blocks. You don't need to spend a lot of money on these fancy blocks. You can if you want to, but I'm just using scrap wood that I have, different sizes, and then a paint stick. If you're going to use a paint stick, make sure it's a nice thick paint stick that's stiff. You can't use those thin, flimsy ones. And then I have a number of sandpapers, a 600 grit, a 1200 grit, and 1500. Normally I do an 800 in here. I don't have 800, but we're gonna make this work. I already cut out little pieces because I'm gonna be using that sanding block today, the small one. Guys, if you haven't seen my last video on wet sanding and polishing, please look at the last video I did. A lot of the questions you may have are gonna be explained on how I do this, but this is gonna be specific to taking care of runs. So I have my block and my 600, which I'm gonna start with. I'm gonna wrap that super tight. I'm gonna hold it with the fingers on the side, clamping it in. And then I'm just going to focus on the high spots of the run. This is going to be wet sanded. So I'm using a spray bottle. It's water with a couple drops of soap for lubrication. This panel's already been wiped down. I have no dust or debris, so I'm not going to scratch it. And then I'm going to wet the sandpaper down. I always wet down, so I wash any debris that's on the sandpaper down off of it too. So right now, I'm doing this lefty so I can get a good angle on here. I'm going to focus just on the high spots. You don't want that sandpaper hitting those low spots. You're going to burn through the paint, especially with a 600 on a new paint job. So the idea here with the 600 is just to knock down those highs and stay focused on that right now. And then we'll start to refine with the lower grit sandpapers. You also need to be aware of how much clear you have to work with. If you're working with one coat of clear and it's applied thin, you're going to have a little bit of an issue. I have 2 coats of clear, one medium heavy and one heavy on this one. So I should have plenty of material to work with, but you still need to be super careful not to burn through. So you want to continue to check your work. I'll just take one of these. I used that in the last video too. It's a foam block. Firmer on this side, softer on this side. I use the soft side to wipe away that water. I'm going to try to get in close and show you what I have here already. Just that little bit of sanding. So you can see that I did get a little bit between the runs. That's going to be unavoidable, but you still want to try to prevent getting into those spots. I have the one run here, here, and then up here. So I'm starting to knock those down slowly. Do not rush this. This might be a little bit of a better angle here. Do not rush this. Take your time on these runs. You don't want to burn through and repaint the panel. I'm using very, very, very light pressure. Do not lean into this. And like I said, man, it's all a matter of just, you got to take your time. Let's take a look at it. We're close. A little bit more right here and here. You want to let your flat block find the high of the run, if that makes sense. You'll feel it. All right, looking pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the 1200 right now. I'm gonna start to work those 600 scratches out right now. So what I'm doing is I'm still knocking those runs down a little bit, but I'm also refining those 600 scratches. Stay away from any sharp body lines with a 600 grit. You will burn through quickly. You don't want a backing on the sandpaper that's flexible, because that's going to dip right into the lows between the run, and then you're going to have an issue burning through as well. So, okay, I'm making pretty good progress. When you compound these scratches out, you're going to be generating heat with the polisher. And depending on what kind of polisher, whether it be a orbital or rotary, and what type of pad you're using, wool or foam, will determine how much heat you generate and how much more clear coat you're burning off. So keep that in mind. I wish this wasn't in white paint and you could see it a little bit closer. I'd still see a little bit here and a little bit here. But as I start to refine that, those should come out a little bit more. And I don't want to go too far. I want to see where I'm at. Once that's polished up, I think it's going to look real good. And if I have any kind of issue with it when it's polished up, then I can still work on it more. But I don't want to take the chance of burning through this clear coat. I talked about this sandpaper on the last video. This is the 3M Trizact, super expensive sandpaper. This is a hook and loop. It's made for a sander, but I'm going to use it by hand. And that's a 3000 grit. So let's do this whole area in 3000. Even though the sandpaper is expensive, it lasts a long time. I bought 3 of these discs, which are, I think they were like $12.50 each. I did find them in the store, by the way. AutoZone surprisingly had it for, I think, $10 a pad. But anyway, I bought 3 pads to do the entire vehicle after I painted it, wet sand and polish, and I ended up using 2. I think I got into the 3rd one, but I didn't really use it for more than 1 panel, I believe. So it does last a long time, and here I am, still using it. I can hit this, if this was on a big flat panel, by the way, where I had room, like there wasn't a door lock and all these trim pieces and light and everything, I would probably have this 3000 on my DA, my dual action sander, and sand it with the machine just for speed's sake. Since there's so many little areas of here that I need to be careful for, I'll do it by hand. Take a look here. And I'll show you what we have here. I can still see little ridges on the on 2 parts of the run, but when it's all polished up, I don't think it's going to be noticeable at all. And like I said, if this was a show vehicle, it'd be a completely different story. We'd have more clear on here. I'd take that down super flat. There'd be no orange peel. But I'm going for a factory finish. Well, I'm going for a slightly better than factory finish. But this is a 1991 Toyota 4Runner. And the paint came out real good on it, and the polishing came out real good on it. We're at a point where we can start to polish this up. And like I said, if you want the details on how to polish it, go to my last video, but I'll go through it briefly right now. The run was right here. I could still see 2 tiny ridges, one here from the run. So let's go ahead and polish this up, and I'll show you how I do that. You're going to have 2 styles of polishers that you can choose from. On the left side there is a rotary, and it has a wool pad. And here on the right is an orbital or a dual action. So today we're going to use the one on the right, the orbital, and we'll put this one to the side for now. I explained a little bit more about the difference between the 2 and when to use them in the previous video that I did. We're going to be using foam pads today, 2 different ones. The orange one is a denser cutting pad that'll be used with the compound, and the black one here is quite a bit softer, and that'll be used with a polish. We are going to be using a pretty aggressive compound from Chemical Guys called V32. And then with that black pad, we're going to use a polish. And you can use any good quality polish. This one is a Meguiars polish. It has duct tape on it because the container split on the side, so it was leaking. So don't judge, but we're using a Meguiars polish on that black pad today. We're just going to go ahead and compound this area out now that we just created those scratches in. So the idea here is to remove those scratches and try to bring a polish back to the paint. Like I said, guys, in my last video, I went over a lot of the details on exactly how to do this. So I'm not going to go too far into it. We're using the compound as a first step to get the heavier scratches out that we just created with that sandpaper. Then we're going to follow that up with the polish to refine the scratches even further. The next step is changing that pad out to the black pad and then hitting the area with polish. That's going to bring a little bit more shine to the area, and we're able to get to the final stages, which I will finish by hand. But at this point, the idea is to take a better look at it, see how it's going to look at different angles, and see if we need to work that run out even more or if it's acceptable as is. We're going to take a look at this from a different angle here and see exactly how our work turned out. So as I move the camera around and we get a good reflection on that area where the run was, I can still see those two little ridges that we were working on earlier. So at this point, it's really not a big deal. You don't have to worry about stuff like this. You just go back with the sandpaper, and I'll probably go back to the 1200 and work my way down to the 1500 and the 3000 again. But just start to block those little areas back out again. I really thought with the white paint it would not be noticeable, but I'm seeing that it is, and I'm going to go back and hit it just a little bit further. Issues are going to arise, guys, and my goal here is to show you how to deal with those issues when they come about. There's a lot of different methods on how to deal with problems with auto body and paint. I'm trying to show you what I've used in the past and what works best for me. Hopefully this video was helpful to some of you. If so, please comment below. If you have any questions, I am happy to answer them. I do answer all comments below. Anything that I use in all my videos, I usually put a link to the description as well. I do appreciate each one of you who watch my videos and comment. Please stick around for this portable paint booth I'm building in my garage. I promise you it's something you're not going to want to miss, and I'm going to show you how you can do it yourself.